Well, what's interesting about the way this conversation has gone is it's led into my topic, which has a lot to do with like let people believe and live how they would like to live, as long as they're not pushing it on anybody else, you know? And
sorry, just to real quick, we already talked about radical Islam and pornographic images of the Prophet Muhammad. Did you want to get more controversial than that?
I don't think this is more controversial than that for sure.
But this is how we roll, so we're just going to keep going, right?
It is a TV show that is trying to create controversy for sure. It's a special on TLC called My Husband's Not Gay.
You sure?
Or is he? Essentially, I guess what the show is about is it's about a few couples, a few people who are devout Mormons,
mm-hmm.
and they live the principles of the Mormon Church, and they experience same-sex attraction. They're gay, but they have
the men are. Wait, but it says he's not gay.
Provocative title, I know, and confusing because it doesn't make sense. But and maybe you have to watch it to kind of get where they got the title, whatever. Essentially, the idea is that they have a few of them are married and have kids, have families. Some of them, I think one of them's single, but he's pursuing a marriage, like he's pursuing a traditional Christian family or Mormon family, whatever, traditional family. And I think it's interesting. I think it's a different perspective. I know there is a growing group of not just Mormons, but Christians in general who are gay Christians and have chosen either a celibate lifestyle or they've chosen to pursue a family. They want to have kids. They want to have a wife. They've chosen that lifestyle. And I don't see anything wrong with that. I think people should have the right to choose their lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as that lifestyle doesn't affect... Like me, my lifestyle is to live in your backyard. Well, no, I don't want that. But
your beanie makes it look like your lifestyle might be to live in my backyard.
Thank you. Your brother will appreciate that joke.
Yeah. So we, by the way, we discussed before the show that a better title would actually be "My Husband's Not Being Gay."
Yes.
Yeah.
Because essentially they're not living the gay lifestyle.
These men are attracted to other men,
right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're not acting on that attraction. They are all married or seeking to be married to women.
Or living celibate,
and it's not hidden.
Imagine.
It's not hidden, right? No,
it's not hidden. All their wives know. Their wives know. They're people know. They're on a TV show, so people know.
Right.
It's not a mystery.
But it's not. Well, I mean, it could have been a special, like I'm coming out of the closet.
It could have been. Yeah, for sure.
But that's. I'm just making the point that is not what it is. They've already, their spouses knew. At some point they knew, and they're still continuing on in a heterosexual type relationship, even though they have same-sex attraction.
Right. So I've queued up a little bit of audio because this is really what I wanted to talk about, because now we've kind of set the stage of the conversation. This is the Young Turks, the YouTube channel. They talk about all kinds of stuff. They're kind of the opposite of our thinking in a lot of ways.
Sometimes.
But...
Are they from Turkey?
I don't know. Is the main guy a Turk? Why are they
It's called the Young Turks. I don't know.
Anyway, so I've queued this up. Let's see what this girl has to say, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. See what you guys think.
First off, there's the one guy who says that he's attracted to his wife, but he's also attracted to men. So he's somewhere on that spectrum, according to what he says. He's not necessarily just gay. He's attracted to his wife as well. And the reason why I bring that up is because when I first read about this, I was actually angry with the wives, because they know that their husbands aren't straight, but they're taking advantage of the situation anyway, and they're like, yeah, I'm going to have him marry me because I'm pathetic, and I'm going to make him hide the fact or deny the fact that he's gay or has these gay tendencies, and I'm going to force him to be... I mean, look, she's not forcing him to be with her, but she's enabling that, right?
Okay, so she said...
Wait, is there more that you want to play?
I'm going to force him to hide.
This is amazing conversation.
So we're gonna come back to this. Okay,
I'm going to force him to hide on a TV show. I'm going to force him to hide.
Basically,
he's on a freaking TV show.
Basically, what she's saying is... now, let's break this down, because she uses the word pathetic. These women are pathetic about the wives. So basically what she's saying is this. This woman is so homely, stupid, undesirable that they would actually have to go find a gay man who's forcing himself to live a certain way to get married. They need this guy because they're so pathetic.
I've only seen one of the women so far.
That's the stupidest concept I've ever heard in my life. But like, you're so pathetic, you have to get with somebody who wouldn't want to anyway. Is essentially what she just said.
I gotta say, okay.
I don't know what she said
directly. Right, well, she's kind of dumb, but
and she's on this all the time.
Okay, but
this girl right here, I don't remember.
You showed me one of the wives in the beginning. She was there. There was a picture of, or was there a picture at the top of the article? Something.
I can look it up.
But we already saw one of the wives, and I'm just gotta say, one of the scenarios you created that she's so homely or so desperate or something like that. She wasn't like, I don't know, she wasn't like Hollywood hot or anything like that, but to me she didn't look homely. You know, she was like pretty. Just saying, you know, she did not look like a desperate person. So, okay, just based on appearance.
Even still,
she could be weird or crazy or anything, so maybe, but just saying.
Because I don't know if she's going to go there, but what I kind of picked up on the vibe was that these women are somehow forcing these men to act straight or be straight.
Here's the thing.
He doesn't have a choice at all, of course.
Here's what she says about that. Let me see if I can get it queued up.
Featured in it admit that they're gay, and their wives know that they're gay. But since they're Mormon, they are fighting their homosexual urges and participating in a traditional marriage anyway, okay? And of course they're doing this because they're forced to because of their religious beliefs. Now,
okay, that's the other one. They are forced to do this because they believe in something. Okay, she's saying this. Yeah.
Are you forced to go to church?
Yes, by my religion. It forces me to go to church.
Adam, are you forced to go to church?
Man, they show up every week and with like a baton.
Yeah.
One of the futuristic ones, the taser batons.
Oh,
yeah. And they like
my dad sells them those.
Yeah. They zap me if I don't get out of bed.
Yeah.
And go to church. They're like.
I don't even get that. I wake up at church. They come while I'm asleep, and they haul my bed, and they just pull a few pews out of the way, and they put my bed up, and I wake up, and I'm like, oh, I'm at church. It's actually really convenient on one end, but also I'm like, hey, can I put some clothes on or anything? Or?
So if I'm hearing her correctly, she is condemning the wives, and
in the beginning she said, at first I said, I'm pissed off at these wives for forcing this on the husband. Right.
So
she says, and then before that she says, they're choosing to do this because their religion forces them and they don't have a choice.
So it's the fault of the wives and predominantly the religion forcing them to not be gay. So they want to do these things and they should be allowed to, but because of the wives and the religion is holding them back, and so they're not able to be who they are meant to be, right? Because they have these urges that, no, God forbid that it's actually the guys just saying like, I have these urges, but I don't really feel like acting them out, or I don't believe in doing that, so I'm not going to. No. He can't have any free will of his own. It's the religion and the wives. Okay, so I know this isn't a direct one-to-one comparison because obviously your sexuality is a little bit different than your appetite, but if you want to eat a donut and you say, I really want to eat that donut, but I'm trying to watch my weight, so I'm not going to. By then, this woman's logic that I should actually just eat the donut and do whatever I want all the time because that's my urge and I should follow it all the time.
Hang on. Whoa. Pre-show, you gave that analogy and Adam said he had a better one. Adam, go.
Okay. Would you say that everybody has natural inclinations to do all kinds of things?
Yes. To lie, to cheat.
To eat a donut.
Eat a donut.
I thought of that one myself.
To steal.
So if she lives by that exact analogy,
to punch people in the face,
banging every guy she sees at the bar that she thinks is hot. But the analogy I was thinking of that actually
that is better because it is directly related to sexuality,
right? Mm-hmm. And the other thing is she's saying that every priest who's sworn to celibacy should just screw that and just go do whatever they want.
How about everyone who's married and is committed
to be celibate?
But that person looks attractive. I'm really attracted to them. I really want to have sex with them.
So
I should just screw everything I believe in and just go do it because that's what I want to do.
Because that's what biology is dictating.
If I'm hearing you both right, essentially what you're saying is that everybody on Earth has sexual urges of one kind or another.
Right.
And at some point, we all choose not to act on them.
Right.
We either say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and not act on sexual urges right now because I got to go to work. For whatever reason it is.
Work is holding you back from being the person you are meant to be.
Quit. I should quit my job because dadgummit, I want to have sex right then.
Right. The only time she says, well, I think these people are fairly open-minded, is it under the circumstance that the guy is actually bisexual and the girl who's devout Mormon is open-minded enough to marry someone who is bisexual. Otherwise, if they're gay, then they're just lying to themselves, because later they go on to say, well, they're just waiting. They're going to be, without a doubt, unfaithful eventually. That's what they said.
So, no, that would also... I mean, we already said, everybody has sexual urges, so that's to
everybody
say
does.
Everybody will cheat at some point in their marriage,
right?
Then, right?
Like, I know for a fact that when I'm watching a movie, when I'm watching like the old Blade Trinity movie, and Ryan Reynolds is like jacked, getting that scene where he's getting beat up and he's like chained to the floor, and he's like.
Blade Trinity? No, I don't remember that movie.
Really?
And nor do I, and I'm very proud that I don't. Oh. You nerd. The last several podcasts, you have beaten me in the nerd contest. You are quickly losing your ability to harass me about Star Trek.
Nope.
Mr. Blade Trinity.
Who was the technology specialist on the Enterprise?
What?
I don't even think there was a technology.
I don't know. I was hoping there would be one. Hold on. I was hoping there'd be one, and I was hoping Jeremy would know, because that would make him the ultimate nerd.
No, technology.
But
there was a science officer. It was Data on the Enterprise
okay,
D,
done.
and then it was Spock on the Enterprise. The
right,
one.
because there's multiple crews for the Enterprise.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, there was an Enterprise C for one episode. That was pretty cool. The Enterprise B was in Star Trek Generations, got all jacked up in the Nexus thing.
Wow, that just got way beyond the nerdy that I was at. So, good. I accomplished what I wanted to.
Does she have anything else that she'd like to add?
Oh, I'm sure she does.
Maybe she doesn't. I don't know.
I'm reading the closed caption, trying to like find the spots that I was like, oh my gosh, when I watched this whole thing. But essentially, they're saying, oh, here we go. Let's listen to the.
Hold on. Question, just about how many likes and dislikes does this video have? This is on YouTube, I assume, right?
I'm jumping on YouTube right now for it.
Oh yeah, because I'd be curious to see what the audience reaction to this is. If we are just minority, or
1,991 likes, 184 dislikes.
Interesting.
Because here's what it comes down to. This reminds me of an actual real life conversation that I overheard with a group of girls that I knew, that I had seen every day, that I thought I knew pretty well, and they were talking about this, essentially the same circumstance, where a friend of hers who's married and and all that, she's like, I know he's gay. I know he's gay by the way he talks, by the way he acts, by the things he said, and the people he's hung out with. Like, he's never been straight out with it, but he said things that led me to believe that he is gay, and yet he's married. He just got married, and they're like, oh, that's so sad. Like, they were saying how sad it was, and she's like, yeah, his family's really Christian, and he's gotten all this pressure to like. He probably has a lot of home pressure to have a traditional family, and it was one of those situations where I was just like, I don't have time or opportunity right now to like pose the question, but is it okay for a gay person to live whatever lifestyle they want to?
Yeah.
Hold on. Yes, obviously.
Because what they're saying, what those girls were saying, was that it is sad, and in retrospect, kind of when I think of the whole conversation in general, it is sad, and not just sad, but wrong for that person to not be gay if they feel same-sex attraction or gay tendencies.
I think it's obviously every person has the right to do what they want to do with their body and whatnot, right? A lot of people, though, will talk about, situations where maybe this is a young kid and his family has said, like, if you're gay, you're going to hell, or you're a terrible person, or
True.
God hates gay people. And that kind of pressure, that is not at all what anyone needs to go through, right? If you had somebody,
Right.
oh, you like women, you're a horrible person, you're going to hell, and you hear that over and over and over again, right? That is going to do stuff to you. That's going to mess you up. But if you live in a household, or you live in an environment where there are people, like, oh, you're gay? Oh, cool. All right. Awesome. Great.
Right.
And that person says, I feel same-sex attraction, but, I don't know. I for whatever reason, I want to have, biologically my own kids or whatever. I have no idea what the reasons
I want the kind of family life that I had growing up.
Sure.
Maybe that's what they think. Maybe they really like their family life growing up.
Or maybe they do have some kind of religious belief that's like,
Right.
this is what the Bible says, or this is what...
Yeah, what if they do sincerely and have been greatly impacted by their religious belief, and they have a sincere and deep belief in that, and so they choose the lifestyle that they want to choose? What if that's genuinely what they feel, and yet people who don't know them well enough, apparently, or are on some stupid Young Turks show are saying, you know what, that's wrong.
Well, it's
wrong for you to be choosing what is outside of the box of what I think you should be choosing.
They're doing exactly what they're blaming the religion and the wives for doing. They're dictating what you. Hey, I know you're gay, so you need to be gay, because if you're not gay, I don't think that's right.
You know, I'm okay with this rule. I'm totally okay with this. Yep, we should all be what we naturally are. That means I get to go to that studio and beat the crap out of both of them, because I naturally want to beat the tar out of stupid people. They both seem stupid. I get to take a club and just go clubbing. On these guys.
The reason why this really bothers me...
I'm okay with this rule. But I wanted to be all legal.
The reason why...
That's how our society will work. And when society works, I'm sorry, did you want to say something? Go ahead.
No, that's a terrible idea.
The reason why I think this really bothers me is because I have not only just friends, but I have friends who are Mormon and who are gay. And I have both friends who have left the Mormon church and, you know, have come out and they're gay and they've left the church and left the traditions of the church and teachings. And I have friends who vehemently hold on to those teachings and they find happiness in those teachings. Okay. And the hard thing about what they're doing and what they're kind of advocating for is where people have found their spot where they know who they are, where they're openly gay, or they've come out to a few people, but they go to church and they love their church and they're Christian or they're Mormon or whatever. And you're saying you're wrong in being who you genuinely are. And that's not
who you
fair.
Want to be.
That's not fair. That's not right, and that's not fair, and that's not being genuinely that's not genuinely caring about the feelings of someone else. Because when I have friends, or if I know somebody, for example, one of my good friends, his brother's gay and he's an active Mormon, they've worked so hard to teach Christians and Mormons how to love and accept and be there for people that they don't really understand who have same-sex attractions or who are gay. They're trying to mend relationships and build bridges and help. And while the Young Turks are sitting there saying, yeah, I know you have this like religious thing that you believe in. I know you have like your you know, fancy guy in the sky, God, that you love. But, you know, that's a bunch of crap because you're gay, so just be gay. Well, what if that's not what he wants? Why don't you let them be comfortable with who they want to be and then support them in that? Because if you say, hey, I want to go to church, I want to be Christian, I want to be Baptist, but I'm gay, but I want to be accepted in my church, then be accepted in your church and live how you want to live. But as long as you're happy, you know? And that's my thing. That's why this really, not just like I laughed at it, but it kind of made me mad. Because I was like, why don't you just say, hey, that's amazing that you came out to me, or you came out, you know, if you're the wife or you're the husband, you came out to me. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Are you happy though? Are you happy in our relationship? Yes. Are you happy in our faith? Yes. Okay, then I'm going to love you. You're the same person. You don't need to change. I'm going to be there for you. You know what I mean? Rather than, oh, you're gay? Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to get a divorce. Don't worry. We're going to have like joint custody, and you be gay, and you just like abandon all the values that you have had before that.
I have to divorce you because you said you had same-sex attraction. That's what this person's saying, is that these wives should say, I have to divorce you because I have to let you be free. And the husband's saying, no, I just am attracted to other men. I don't actually want to go act upon that. I want to be married to you. No. You can't be married to me anymore. We have to have a divorce because otherwise I'm holding you back and putting you in a prison.
Do you know what's funny? Everything that we've said so far assumes that the wife didn't know before she got into the relationship.
She may have known beforehand.
Oh, sure.
There's one guy that's looking for a wife, right? Looking for a wife, and he's admitting he's openly homosexual, and so he's...
And in the trailer, he tells girls that he's seriously dating or that he's dating, and he expresses and he tells a story of like how that feels, where he feels like he needs to be honest with people. And I think that's like, so I watched a really great talk, it was a TED Talk, I think, about marriage and relationships. And what it was specifically about was about intimacy, and how intimacy is the relationship that's built between people in the most vulnerable of situations. And I couldn't imagine the kind of intimacy, vulnerability, and love that would have to exist in a relationship for somebody to go, hey, we're not married yet. I really love you, and I want you to know everything about me in regards to ambitions and feelings and attractions and everything. And I feel like I need to be totally honest with you with something that's very sensitive, especially in a culture that 10 years ago was completely different from the culture that is now. And to say, I'm gay. And for them to go, I love you anyway. That's an incredible intimacy that barely exists in the world today. And they're saying, oh, yeah, that's bogus. You need to just abandon that because you're just lying to yourself.
Yeah.